Hello there and welcome to my channel. Today we're finally making snus. On this table here right in front of me I got everything that I use to make my snus. Let's take a closer look. We got of course the tobacco that's nicely ground that we did in the previous episode. Looks very good. We got some water that we can boil. We got a scale. We got a pressure cooker, electrical whisk, some oven bags, grill bags. We got some sodium carbonate. That's very essential for snus. Some Himalayan salt. A big rubbery tub or container with a lid to it. KitchenAid to make the consistency right when the snus is done. And this to weigh everything. For this first step we only need salt, water and the tobacco. So let's clear everything else from the table. We needed some more than what I said before. But first step is weighing up the tobacco. And then when we have the tobacco weighed up, we're gonna calculate the rest of the ingredients out of how much tobacco we have. Usually you make snus with at least 2 varieties of tobacco, one Virginia and one Burley. This is only Virginia tobacco and it is perfectly fine to make snus with only one variety. The commercial snus, it's said that they use up to 18 different varieties of tobacco. I don't know if that is true, but that's what's being said. Now, when weighing up the dry tobacco, you gotta calculate that for every 100 grams of dry tobacco, you will get approximately 200 grams of snus. And what limits me is the pressure cooker, the space in the pressure cooker. So, from experience, I've learned that around half a kilo of tobacco is going to be perfect. So let's start with measuring up half a kilo of tobacco. I'm doing this in metric units, so if you don't use metric units where you live, you will have to recalculate it. So 500 grams of dried, ground up tobacco. It's very smoky. Here we have 109 grams. $213, which will be 323. 323. There we go. 500 grams of dried and ground up tobacco. Now I had a few questions on the last video how much tobacco there was in this tub. I used the first harvest of the TN90 variety, so the lower leaves, all of them, and around 20 from the second harvest. So maybe this is 40% of the total harvest of the TN90 variety. And there is 500 grams there, plus this, which is around 150, so maybe 650 grams times 3, which will be around 1.5 to 2 kilos of tobacco. I'm not much of a counter when it comes to grams and stuff. I just see what I have in front of me, and that's what I deal with. But now, when we're doing snus, we have to calculate it. And now let's start the boiler and boil the water. And while we do that, we can calculate or weigh up the salt. So this is for every 100 grams of tobacco, we're gonna use 12.5 grams of salt. So 500 grams of tobacco means 62.5 grams of salt. So let's weigh that up. And this is what 62.5 grams of salt looks like. And now that the water is boiling, we're gonna measure up 1 deciliter of water for every 100 grams of tobacco we got. So that means we're gonna measure up 5 deciliters of water since we have 500 grams of tobacco. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 deciliters of water. Now we're gonna stir this with a spoon until all of the salt has dissolved in the water, or most of it at least. And when the salt is dissolved in the water, we're just gonna put the salt water into the dried tobacco. Try to spread it out. And then it's time for our electric whisk. And we run with this until the moisture is evenly distributed throughout the tobacco. This step is very important to get all your tobacco moist, or else you won't get it to sweat and it won't become snus. Now keep in mind that making snus will smell a lot or a bit. Depends on who you ask. My wife says it smells a lot. I think it smells a little bit, but I'm doing it in the garage today for that reason. There we go. Now the mix looks something like this. Moist tobacco, moist ground up tobacco. And it should be moist all the way down. And there should be no dry spots and no spots where it's overly moist. So mix it up well. And now that the tobacco is mixed with the salt water, we bring out our oven bags and load up the tobacco in this one. Also good that it's a rubber tote. You can just do it like this and you don't spill as much. Get the rest that is stuck on the edges with a spoon. We don't want to waste any tobacco. Remember, we've worked hard for this, right? And that is almost all of the tobacco. You can't get it all. But let's get a little bit more. There we go. Now it is time to compact it a bit. Twist it, not too hard, and don't tie a knot here because it may explode in the pressure cooker. So if it wants to, it should be able to open up and release the pressure inside of the bag here. And there we have it. A nice little bag of tobacco. Let's get the pressure cooker. It's called Point and it has 5 years warranty. Now what I like about this pressure cooker is that when you put it on pressure cook and put it on 4 hours and it's pressure cooking it for 4 hours, and then this screen here will start from 0 and go up again, and the setting on this pressure cooker will automatically switch to keep warm. So 4 hours of pressure cooking and then it switch automatically to keep warm. I usually go with 4 hours of pressure cooking and 4 hours of keep warm. I usually do this overnight, so 8 hours, that's perfect. Go up in the morning, take a look at the tobacco, and then do 4 more hours of pressure cook. This is what the pressure cooker looks on the inside. We'll put a distance there, some water in the bottom. And then we have this, which was included. It's for steaming vegetables and stuff. This is perfect to put there and then add the tobacco to this. kind of tricky to get it to fit in here, but let's release some air. There we go. That's better. And close it back up again. On with the lid. Like that. Close it and put it on pressure cook here. And then it's 4 hours of pressure cooking. Let's go start. Nice sound. Now this machine will work up the pressure inside of the pressure cooker, and then the timer will start. So we get exactly 4 hours of pressure cooking. See you when that is done. It has now been cooking for over 4 hours. This timer has went down to 0 and is now counting up again. As you can see here, keep warm setting. Let's open it up and see what it looks like. Ooh! It is very hot. As you can see, it's boiling. Now I don't know if you can see it this good on the camera here, but you can see the tobacco is starting to break up. Also by touching it, you can feel that the tobacco is still kind of hard. So let's close the lid again. Pressure cook, 4 hours, start. And now I'm going to bed. See you tomorrow when I wake up. And there we go. It is now the next morning. And this has been pressure cooked for 8 hours and actually kept warm for 8 hours more. So 4 hours more than I planned to, but it doesn't really matter. Let's open this up and get ready for the next step, which is pouring the tobacco into this tub. Now you can clearly see that it looks more like a dough instead of individual grains. And that's what we want. Now let's pour it up into this one. It's pretty hot, so be careful. Throwing this away, we won't need that anymore. I'm just gonna mix this up to separate it. Now it smells really much. From this part it's gonna smell a lot, so do this in a well ventilated area. And there we go. This is what it looks like now. Now we're not going to do anything until this is room temperature, because if we were to add the sodium carbonate to this, we would have needed a gas mask. So let's let it cool down to room temperature, put a lid on it so it doesn't dry out. And I'll see you when it's room temperature. Okay, we're back. Now this is room temperature. Looks like ground up coffee beans or something. It has started to darkening a bit, which is good. Now it is time to add the sodium carbonate now. This is food grade sodium carbonate, and I would really recommend getting food grade sodium carbonate, because there are a lot of different uses for sodium carbonate, for example cleaning, and when I'm making snus I want my things to be food grade, so even the sodium carbonate. Looks like washing powder, or powder that you're using in the washing machine. Now we want, for each 100 grams of tobacco, we want 7 grams of sodium carbonate, which means that we have 500 grams of tobacco in this one. We're gonna give it 35 grams of sodium carbonate. There we go. Put the lid back on. This is what it looks like. It's a powder. Now we want to spread this out as good as we can. That's it, 35 grams of sodium carbonate in the tobacco mix and the electric whisk. And whisk it around. You can see these little pieces of sodium carbonate. It doesn't really matter right now because we're gonna mix it up as good as we can. Like that. And then we put the lid on it. And then we keep it in the fridge for at least 2 days. So let's put it in the fridge. We got a designated snooze spot here. Keep it here for 2 days to let the sodium carbonate dissolve into the snooze. See you in 2 days. Okie dokie, 2 days later, and this is what we've got. As you can see here, the sodium carbonate has been made into chunks. That's not optimal, but I will show you how to solve that. Now what's left to do is getting the right consistency of the snooze. This is a bit like plant soil. It doesn't stick together, and I wouldn't use it like this. So let's put it in this Bosch Universal Kitchen Assistant, or whatever it's called. I have this thing in it that you usually use when you make bread, dough thingy. That's gonna be perfect for the snooze. So let's get all of this into the mixer here, or the kitchen helper, KitchenAid, kitchen machine, I don't know what it's called. You can see a lot of it sticks on the side here, but just get it loose and pour it in. Ta-da! Can't get it all, but get as much as you can. Because we've worked hard for each grain of tobacco here. Now let's put on the lid here, like that. And this lid, like that. And turn it on speed 1. What I like to do when making snooze is add some hard liquor. That will help with both the taste and the consistency of the snooze. I always go with gin, because I like gin. I'm looking at the moisture of the snooze and kind of calculating how much gin I'm supposed to add. It's better to add little by little and see how it goes, because if you get it too wet, there is more work to dry the snooze than to remoist it or moist it more. So let's go with, I think, half a deciliter of gin. Something like that. This will also help the sodium carbonate bits to dissolve better. On with the lid and on with the machine. I'll stop it there and add some more gin to it. Now keep in mind that I only had this for 1 night in the fridge. So you should keep it a bit longer. But now you can do this part and wait later. And there is a very sweet spot when it's worked enough. So it's very easy to overdo it, and you will get like a clay-like substance, or like a Play-Doh. Some people like that. I don't. So I'm very careful not overdoing this step. Some more gin. Let's go again. I do this step until I see that the snus is starting to clump up in pieces, and I can see the bottom of this thing here. So as you can see now, it's almost done. You see, you can start to see the clumps forming, and you can almost see the bottom here. That, to me, that's a good indicator of that the consistency is good. Some like it looser, some like it like Play-Doh, but I like it somewhere in between. And you can also see that the sodium carbonate pieces are starting to dissolve into the tobacco, or at least getting smaller. Now, as you can see, you can clearly see the bottom of this metal thing here sometimes when this is turning. So now I gotta be careful not to overdo it, because I don't want the snus to be like clay or Play-Doh. So let's stop it there and see. A little bit more. Now if you touch some snus like this, you should throw this away and not put it back in, because of bacteria. Now we're getting really close. I will keep going till I stop seeing these small crumbs of snus in the bottom here. I want to have bigger pieces. That to me means a good consistency. We're really close now. There we go, that's perfect. Now if you want to add any flavorings to the snus, this is the time to do it. For myself, I never use any flavoring. I like the taste of raw tobacco. What's left now is getting the tobacco back into this tub and putting it back in the fridge for 2 to 3 weeks. And let the sodium carbonate really dissolve into the snus. And after 2 to 3 weeks, I'll take it out, use the electric whisk, to check that the sodium carbonate is dissolved, and check on the consistency and the moisture of the snus. Maybe add some more gin. Let's get the snus back. Technically you can use the snus now, but it gets better with time. So I would recommend waiting 2 to 3 weeks before testing it. As always, get as much as you can. That's good enough. Now, some people recommend that you wait 2 to 3 years with the tobacco that you've grown. This tobacco is from this summer, so it's fresh. I have never tried waiting 2 to 3 years before making snus of that tobacco. I don't think that it could get so much better than what it already is. This is what it looks like now. Let's put it back in the fridge and wait 2 to 3 weeks. Now that's my way of making snus. You can make snus multiple ways. You can do it in the oven. You can do like a special kind of container to sweat the snus in there. This is how I do it. I think this works perfect for me. Some people use more sodium carbonate, some use less. Some also have some antibacterial thing in the snus, so you can store it longer. I don't use that. I like it to be as natural as possible. This batch will last me like a month or a month and a half, so I don't need that antibacterial thing. The most important thing with not having the antibacterial thing is that you gotta be aware of what you put into the snus. So, for example, if you put it up in like small snus boxes like this one, I would always use a clean spoon before I filled the smaller boxes. So cleanliness is a very good thing. So we have gone from planting the tobacco, we have grown it, we have fed it with fertilizer, we have watered it, we have harvested it, we have cleaned it, we have cured it, we have dried it, we have grinded it, and now we're at this spot here. That was the main thing, or the main idea with the whole project from the beginning. That started in like April. Now using snus can be done in multiple ways. Some keep it under the tongue, some keep it on the lower lip, I keep it under the upper lip. It's just a matter of choice. And this is what it looks like when it's finished, completely finished. I keep my snus in this plastic food grade containers, which is for candy. The candy stores give this away for free in Sweden. So I just went to a candy store and got it for free, or multiple of these ones. After 2 to 3 weeks, I go over it with the electric whisk, and then I put it in these containers and I keep it in the fridge with the lid on. It's also possible to freeze it if you really want to do that. Why, I don't know, but some people do. To make it last longer, I don't have that problem. So I keep it in these plastic tubs. Works perfect for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.